Hello and welcome back to the Sideboard. I'm Ruben Bressler and I'm joined by Jamal Sims, who has brought a deck that we've called Angels and Demons to the table. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
So basically, this is a reanimator deck that the main target you want to hit is Gisela.
Right.
Because a lot of people in the format are playing really bad. A lot of people in the format are playing really bad removal. They're playing sorcery speed removal, and if you ever untap with Gisela, it's literally game over. You hit them with Gisela that hits them for 10. You can Rakdos return them. You can doubles play them. If you get really lucky, you can bonfire them off the top. You have your other stuff to get stuff in the graveyard, like you have your Faithless Lootings. I'm really light on green for Grizzly Savage. I'm going real hard with the Wild Guess.
Now, Wild Guess is a card I'm a real big fan of. I played it at Grand Prix Columbus in Modern in my Reanimator thing, but it's a great discard outlet also, because Grizzly Salvage, Tracker's Instincts, and Mulch don't let you get rid of stuff from your hand.
It's true, very
and
true.
So Faithless Looting's the only one typically that people run, but Wild Guess is another really good addition.
Yeah, you want to be very choice with what you put into your graveyard. As you see, you can notice I'm not playing Mulch. Because I played Mulch at States, and there were so many times where I would mulch away my Grizzly Salvage, and I was like, I just wish this was a Grizzly Salvage.
Right.
So I want to have a bit more control of what I discard. So Wild Guess gives me this, control of discard. Faithless gives me control of discard. The only thing that doesn't give me control of discard is Grizzly.
It's the Grizzly Salvage. Yeah, I'd seen a lot of 5-color Reanimator lists that were running Forbidden Alchemy, but that's a whole nother color that you have to run. And so Wild Guess, getting the second red's a lot easier than getting the first blue a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I'm really deep on red. As you see, I'm playing Clifftop Retreats, I'm playing Blood Crypts, I'm playing
five basic mountains.
Just
also.
5 basic mountains. So I'm really heavy on red. An ideal hand for me is turn 1 Faithless Looting off a Blood Crypt, and then turn 2 Wild Guess off of blue.
Right.
Just another mountain.
Nice. And you have a lot of ways to interact with your graveyard also, so that you can put a lot of things in there. You have Devil's Play, Sever the Bloodline, and Rolling Trembler in addition to your Unburial, right?
Yeah. Basically, I feel like you want to just keep the board clear, and if I can keep the board clear, I can generally win the game. So I'm wanting to get a lot of stuff with flashback, so that's why I really picked up on Sever and Doubles Play. I have a group of friends who live in Berkeley. Most of them play at Eudaimonia, and they've helped me this card is terrible, that card is good, this card is terrible, that card is good. So they kind of helped me with my list, but a friend of mine's, Lee, I want to point him out, Lee Lynn, was like, Gisela's horrible, take Gisela's out, you're never untapped with her. And I want to tell you, Lee, that every single game I have untapped with her, and every single game they have been dead as soon as she hits the field.
That's pretty good. Now, in addition to this, the one Powerpuff Girl, you have another copy of a different Powerpuff Girl in Sigarda.
Yeah, Blue White Flash is a deck. Blue White Flash is a really strong deck. But their removal is I'm going to bounce it. They don't actually kill it, they just want to bounce it.
Right.
So with Sigarda, she's one of the few things I can actually hardcast at a decent rate. And then 2, out of my sideboard, I have a Cavern of Souls. And when I bring in Cavern, I just name Angel and I take out the Grizzle Brands.
And you have Angel of Serenity, Gisela, and Sigarda, and all of your creatures are uncountable.
Yeah, so all my creatures are uncountable, all my creatures are angels. I play the slow game and just grind them out. I bring in Lingering Souls, Duress.
For when people bring in Rest in Peace or Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, also Abrupt Decay is a beast.
Yeah.
Abrupt Decay is so good against Rest in Peace.
So let's talk about your sideboard for a second. We got a lot of singletons, and they have a lot of varied purposes. I'll go over a couple of them. Cavern of Souls we've discussed already. You have a Deathrite Shaman for the mirror match.
Pretty much.
Sure. You have an Abrupt Decay to be able to deal with Rest in Peace or Detention Sphere.
Yeah, Rest in Peace, Detention Sphere, Grafdigger's Cage. Only thing it doesn't hit is Purify the Grave. But a lot of people have, for some reason, switched off of Purify the Grave and gone to the one that stays in the play. Even though I think for Blue White Flash, it messes them up just as much. It's
debatable. I mean, the Rest in Peace answer is a lot more permanent, obviously. Even though you can't get it off of Augur of Bolas, it's a lot more important to keep your mana open. So that's one possible reason. But you can also switch into a Lingering Souls deck.
Absolutely. So basically, at first when I built this deck, I was afraid against zombies. That's why I have the pillars and so forth. But because Blue White Flash is a deck, a lot of people are going the control route. Against control, I go Duresses, Lingering Souls, I bring in the Loxodon Smiter, and I bring in the Abrupt Decay. If they're Planeswalker heavy, I bring in the O-Rings. If they're ban control, I bring in these Slaughter Games that name Thragtusk, because they actually can't win the game if they can't play Thragtusk. And just grind them out. And I don't know if Blue White Flash can actually beat Lingering Souls, because even if they don't dissipate it, and I'm smart enough to play around Syncopate.
Right.
I'm going to get into the yard, or it's going to go into play, and I will literally just 1/1/1, and if Gisela hits, doubles that damage.
Yeah, and they have a very tough time dealing with Rakdos' return after they've countered all of your early stuff.
This card is such counterbait because, so let's say, for instance, it's turn 5, and I have Unburial Rites in the yard. I'd rather go Rakdos Return because if they don't counter it, they have to get rid of most of the cards in their hand. Yeah. So if they counter it, then that means that they're going to either have to draw into a counter fairly soon or have multiple counters in hand. If they don't have multiple counters in hand or they didn't draw into a counter, I could then free to unbury rights pretty freely. And there's been several games, and especially in testing, where I would Raptors return, and then if they take longer than like 6 seconds, that means that, okay, I don't want to throw away this counter, because if I throw away this counter, that means I can't stop his unburial rights.
Right.
And once you do that, I already know what it is.
Nice. Yeah, you put your opponents to a tough decision they've already lost.
Yeah, I like to, as you can, basically, I want to put out a lot of damage, and I want to put the test to them.
Yeah.
I want to make them make the hard decisions. I don't want to be the person who's sitting back waiting for something to happen. I want to put the pressure, just, put the fire on them, basically.
So this looks like it looks really powerful. I mean, if all people are trying to do in standard right now is trying going over the top, over the top, over the top, it's tough to go more over the top than Gisela.
Yeah, literally, I was showing you this.
Your score sheets are very funny, where you like fall down to some low life total, and then they just go to 0.
Yeah,
every round.
The lowest I've been is
I'll just go to 10 and you're dead. I'll just go to 9 and you're dead. I'll go to 2 this time and you're dead.
Pretty
just
much.
Very, very efficient. Well, thank you so much for bringing this over, and good luck to you.
Hey, thank you very much.